There are countless inexplicable mysteries in this world. For centuries, we had to rely on the stories of those who claimed to have encountered strange creatures. But today, with everyone carrying a camera in their pocket, we don't just have to rely on words anymore. We have images to back them up. From the most chilling alien video you'll ever see to a terrifying monster stalking a man in the woods, here are 20 creepy encounters with monsters in the forest. Number 20. Saudi Arabia police encounter a real witch. At the beginning of this video, you can't yet understand what's going on, but you can hear the voice of a man, and he is evidently terrified. Keep in mind, you're hearing the voices of hardened policemen, men that rarely get scared by anything, and yet, you can hear a sense of urgency and fear in his voice. As they keep driving, you realize they are following a figure, which looks like an elderly woman, walking alone in the middle of the night on a dirt road. As they come closer to this mysterious figure, it becomes clear that she has long, dirty black hair and is wearing a white robe. Yet, there's something wrong about her. She's moving in a way that doesn't seem natural, and her posture is horribly contorted. The police officers decide to make a lot of noise with their car's engine to scare the woman away, but she doesn't seem to be scared. In fact, quite the contrary. She starts walking towards the vehicle so fast that the officers start driving in reverse to get away from her. At this point, it becomes clear they are dealing with a supernatural creature, a witch to be precise. She isn't moving too fast at first, and she's even using a walking stick, but then she starts chasing the car, moving unnaturally fast. Do you think the officers made it out alive? Number 19. Bigfoot. The Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, is a legendary creature that allegedly lives in Canada and the United States. The high number of sightings could suggest that we're not dealing with one creature, but rather several hypothetical creatures. The name Bigfoot was given to the monster by the first settlers during the conquest of the West, because of its presumed immense size and especially the gigantic footprints it leaves after its passage. This ape-like being mainly occupies the large mountain ranges, as well as heavily wooded regions sparsely populated by humans. The name Sasquatch comes from the Hulkamalem word meaning hairy giant. These beings are generally described as hominids. However, the continuing lack of physical evidence of its existence leads most scientists to consider them as folklore. On the other hand, cryptozoologists believe in the authenticity of the Sasquatch. They claim that a large territory is in concordance with the existence of this species. To ensure its survival, a species needs hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals. Some zoologists and cryptozoologists claim that a territory as vast as North America, with its immense areas where human beings are scarce most of the time, makes it possible for a still unknown species of anthropoid to live with 1,000 specimens. Number 18. Demon caught on camera chasing deer. Have you ever wondered what demons feed on when they're not terrorizing humans? Well, if this image is anything to go by, they apparently hunt prey like predators in the wild. This photo has been around since at least 2005, and even though a lot of people think it's fake, here's what we know for sure. The photo was taken during nighttime, probably by a trail cam during deer hunting season. We know that it's somewhere in Canada, but there are no other specifications as to the location. On the left side of the image, we can clearly see a poor deer trying to run for its life, literally. And on the right side, running after the animal, there's a strange winged creature. For those who think that the image is photoshopped because of the blurriness of the so-called demon creature, it's true that it's blurry, but so is the deer, which could lead to the hypothesis that this is just the way this camera captures objects that are moving. Now, as far as the mysterious creature goes, what animal has wings so small and disproportionate to the rest of the body to the point that there's absolutely no way the animal could achieve flight successfully? Maybe it's a tragically deformed animal, or maybe it's something else entirely. Number 17. Strange creatures scare people in the woods. Have you ever heard of cryptids? Well, after this video, you will unfortunately know all about them. Cryptids are terrifying creatures that tend to live deep in very dense forests around the world. They dislike human presence quite a bit, and for that reason, they immediately hide from people when they are seen. Therefore, there aren't a lot of pictures or footage of cryptids except this one. In this rare instance, the cryptid not only allowed a human to see it, but also tried to attack the camera operator. They are mysterious monsters, dangerous and sneaky. In recent years, and for unknown reasons, cryptids have been seemingly more present, and there are more and more sightings. Some people think this might be because of UFO presence. In this particular case, locals are convinced that an unidentified flying object crashed deep in the forest, and this creature is the only one that survived the accident. It seems to be small in size, maybe only a few feet high. It has dark gray skin and a very strangely shaped skull. We can only see its head, so there's no way of knowing what the rest of its body looks like. Number 16. Man claims he was stalked by terrifying Dogman monster in Australian outback. A man bizarrely claims that he was stalked by a horrifying Dogman monster in the Australian outback, and he even produced this picture as proof. The man, named John, is a fisherman who, for a month after this strange encounter, couldn't work or do much of anything. He was quite literally petrified. In fact, he claims he encountered the terrifying half-dog, half-human monster on not one but two occasions. The first incident apparently took place during Boxing Day last year when he was fishing from his kayak. Back then, he noticed that every time he would take a stroke with the paddle of his kayak, the monster was also taking a stride. To make sure the creature was, in fact, following him, he stopped for a little while, and there were no sounds coming from the bushes. But the second he picked up his paddle again, the creature started moving too. After the encounter, John wasn't able to sleep because he would see the Dogman in his dreams. Eventually, he mustered up the courage to go back to the area, and he was stalked by the same creature again. Number 15. Conquer the giant python monster that appeared to attack the people anaconda. Imagine a snake so big that 3 adult men are needed to capture it. The actions you're about to watch in this video are performed by experienced professionals and should not in any way be copied or followed by civilians. This video was most likely shot in a small town in Indonesia. 3 soldiers were called to remove a gigantic python that was calmly resting on a tree branch above a river. For now, the colossal reptile is not hungry, but the second it feels famished, the whole village is in grave danger. The 3 brave men attempt to capture the massive serpent, but the animal falls into the water and tries to get away. This is the worst possible scenario, as pythons are excellent swimmers and often hunt in the water. The imposing pythons, when they are several meters long, are capable of killing and swallowing humans easily, and it does occur in Indonesia. These attacks, though fortunately very rare, are the result of the reticulated python, the largest snake in the world, the same one that these soldiers are trying to capture. They bravely fight in the brown river waters. The snake seems to have the upper hand, but eventually, there is strength in numbers, and the men manage to remove the reptile. Number 14. Alien and floating orb captured on film in the Amazon rainforest. Of all the new and exciting things that we discover daily in the Amazon rainforest, I bet that an extraterrestrial and a mysterious floating orb aren't the first things to come to mind, right? Well, that is exactly what happened in Brazil recently. This incredible image was taken from video footage captured by 2 British tourists visiting the Manaus region of Brazil. This video, which has already made quite the stir on the internet, was noted by paranormal writer Mike Cohen, who not only says that the video is real, but also that the area is famous for its intense UFO activity. He also added that the footage is so compelling it would be very difficult to discredit it. In the still image, we can see a group of children talking, and in the background, in the trees, we can see an unidentified being standing with its back arched a few feet away from what looks like a shiny white floating orb. Apparently, the region of Manaus is known for being home to many UFO sightings and activities, so much so that the area was the focus of a high-level Brazilian government investigation known as Operation Prato. The army was sent in to monitor and confirm alien presence in the rainforest. They think that aliens are very interested in the area due to its unique biological diversity. Number 13. Strange creature freaks out plantation workers in Sarawak. Viewer discretion is advised. This video shows an animal in distress. This poor creature was spotted by a group of plantation workers who were clearly spooked by it. The animal was hairless and crawling in a very strange way, stopping very often for rest and taking deep breaths. The plantation workers, freaked out by the poor animal, ended up beating it to death. Horrible, right? As it turns out, this animal was not a dangerous or mythical monster, not even close. It was a Malaysian sun bear that had lost all its fur due to a disease. It was so weak it couldn't walk anymore, let alone hurt anybody. But instead of helping the poor creature, the group of men decided to make it suffer even more. This video has triggered quite the debate on the internet because of the insensitivity and cruelty of some people. Why would you beat an animal that's suffering and that doesn't pose any kind of threat to anybody? Malaysian officials said that the sun bear was clearly suffering from a serious disease, and if anyone sees an animal in the wild that is sick, they should notify the authorities so they can take it away and help it. Not only could this save the life of the animal, but it would also prevent the disease from spreading to other specimens of the same species. Number 12. Chupacabra. In Latin American mythology, this is one of the most feared creatures of them all. The infamous Chupacabra is a terrifying monster that kills animals to feed on their blood. In fact, the name Chupacabra can be dissected into 2 words in Spanish, chupar, which means to suck, and cabra, which means goat. So, literally, the goat sucker. Horrifying, right? This terrifying creature was first spotted in 1995 in Puerto Rico, where it was blamed for attacks on goats, sheep, and many other domestic animals. They supposedly leave behind uneaten carcasses that have been completely drained of their blood. Early reports described a monster that stood upright and kind of resembled a massive reptilian kangaroo with huge beady red eyes. Now the stuff of nightmares, basically. But no actual specimen has ever been found or caught, which has caused skeptics to suggest that the Chupacabra isn't real and that the witnesses are either lying or insane. Well, that was until many other reports of sightings started occurring all over the Americas, some as far north as the United States. Not only that, but it would seem that there's now a second type of Chupacabra. This one's a little smaller and stands on 4 feet. They generally present a canine appearance with massive teeth but a hairless body. The only thing in common with the original creature is the beady red eyes. Number 11. Abnormal creature caught on camera. This bizarre footage comes to us from the remote and freezing land of Siberia. It was an ordinary December day in the Amur region in northern Russia. Temperatures well below zero and just overall the most freezing cold weather you could ever imagine. According to reports, a man decided to go walk his dog. Everything was going well, and nothing was out of the ordinary, when all of a sudden they stumbled upon a very strange-looking creature lying on the snow. The being was about 3 feet tall, missing a limb, and had a dark grayish skin color. At first glance, it kind of looked like ET experts could determine by the footage alone that this creature wasn't a deformed human being due to its small size and lack of a formed chin. The first thing that comes to mind is that this creature might have come from outer space, maybe from a very distant planet. But how did it end up in the deep tundra of Siberia? Furthermore, this isn't the first mysterious little creature found in the northern forests of Russia. Back in 1996, a woman found one as well. It caused a huge media stir, and the creature was named Alyoshenka. The thing is, the woman claims Alyoshenka was alive when she found it. Number 10. Unhappy campers escape lions at night. For those of you who enjoy going camping, you know that there are many rules to follow if you don't want to have a horrible time. There are several do's and don'ts, like never forget to bring bug spray, assume there will be drinking water, or never set up camp in the dark. But I bet there's one rule you've never heard of, and that you'll never be able to forget. It's a simple rule. Don't set up camp inside a lion's pride territory. I mean, that's a rule almost everybody would follow without hesitation, but apparently it wasn't very clear for a group of campers on a safari. Just imagine how foolish you must be to sleep in a flimsy tent while there are hungry lions around. Well, that's exactly what these guys did, and of course, they were woken up in the middle of the night by hungry lions trying to eat them alive. The man inside the tent keeps popping his head out while a massive adult male lion and his female companion lurk around. He could have easily ended up being a lion's midnight snack. The people inside are trying to scare the lions off with a flashlight, which is actually quite smart, and eventually it works and the big cats leave, but that was too close for comfort. Number 9. 6-foot human-like creature spotted lurking in woods sparks panic. This insane video was captured by Audrey Frechette from Gaspé Valley, Quebec. She was trying to record a massive moose on the roadside that caught her attention when she accidentally caught this mysterious and terrifying humanoid creature. When she eventually looked back at her footage, she couldn't help but notice that something was lurking in the background. Imagine the horror when she decided to augment the image. A strange figure was revealed, almost human-like in appearance but a lot more horrifying. The monster moved close to the moose at one point, but then it decided to back off and just lingered in the shrubbery behind. It was only then that she realized the immense danger she was in, completely unbeknownst to her. The monster was probably planning to attack the moose, but then noticed Audrey standing there recording and probably got spooked. The video has already racked up hundreds of hits on Audrey's YouTube account, and many users commented that the monster looks like Gollum. Another said it looks like the rake-type creature stalking that moose. It's unclear what this beast is, but one thing's for sure, compared to the huge size of the moose, the monster must be quite tall too. Number 8. Creepy figure in Tennessee woods. This story is so wild it'll blow your mind. Back in 2012, a man was writing his own script to make a homemade horror movie. It was his first time, so everything took a little bit longer than usual, and he was just going with the flow. He was doing everything himself and experimenting with different aesthetics and props, until on April 7th, he decided to set up a prop ritual circle he had designed based on some research he had been doing on black magic. After some rehearsals, he and his friends decided to call it a day and leave the woods to go back to their homes. The next day, he headed to the same spot in the woods to get some daylight camera time. He's no stranger to the woods, so he knew how to scan the tree line around himself as he went, in case he spooked up a deer, turkey, or any other wild animal. Plus, he likes to take wildlife photos as well. As he was getting closer to the ritual circle, he started to feel uneasy. This mysterious figure was standing exactly at the center of the circle. The moral of the story here is, do not mess with black magic, even if it's just for a prop. Number 7. Alien mysterious creature wanted to attack a tourist in the forest. This video is quite similar to the previous one, which goes to show that sightings of cryptids really are increasing in numbers in recent years, and all over the world too. This one takes place in a rather lush forest, probably somewhere relatively warm, maybe even tropical. The setting is the same, a person armed with a camera, filming the forest, trying to capture something interesting. And as you'll see in just a few seconds, they truly did. This cryptid also has dark grayish skin, almost as if it was made of stone, like a statue. It has a clear head, neck, torso, and just 2 arms like us, but it is a lot smaller in size. When a creature has a similar shape to humans, they are called humanoids, and this mysterious being seems to be one. But instead of normal eyes, this creature has 2 beams of white light beaming out of its face. No mouth, nose, or ears are visible. The camera operator clearly gets very scared when they see the cryptid and starts running, but before doing so, they manage to get pretty clear footage of the creature in its natural habitat. We can even see it moving. Number 6. Mexican family captures alien on camera on roof. A Mexican family was horrified when they started hearing footsteps on the roof of their home. The dad eventually went out to investigate what was going on. Thankfully for us, he thought about taking his camera phone with him and filmed everything. Otherwise, nobody would have believed him and would have called him crazy. He adjusts the zoom of the camera before pointing it at the roof, where you can clearly see a white humanoid alien looking back at the camera. Yeah, I don't know who must have been more scared, the dad or the extraterrestrial. But as soon as the alien sees him, it runs away in total fear through the roof of the house, and so does the father. This video is real. That was a real alien you just saw. What would you do if you saw an alien standing on your roof? The horror. I bet you wish you never saw this video, but you can't unsee it now. Number 5. Strange creature caught on tape by indigenous people in Brazil. This video will send chills down your spine. At the beginning of the footage, we can see a Brazilian indigenous man standing next to what looks like a river. He's being filmed by his friend from the other side of the river. The cameraman tells him that there's a creature peeking through the vegetation behind him, so he turns around to look. The mysterious creature seems quite shy and hides every time the man turns around to look at it. The video's quality is too poor to discern anything moving. The cameraman keeps telling his friend that there's something that looks like a strange monkey right behind him. You know, when the creature starts running through the rainforest to get away from the group of people, the man gets so spooked he jumps into the river. But that's when the most horrifying part of this video starts. The cameraman completely loses control over the camera, and a ghastly scream can be heard. What was that mysterious creature? It was too big to be a monkey. No monkey endemic to Brazil is that size. Yet, the monster was evidently not a person, seeing as humans don't have gray skin or move like that. This is one of those inexplicable mysteries that'll keep you up at night. Number 4. Craziest bear fight ever caught on trail cam. Trail cams are a great gizmo. Typically, when you set up trail cams, it's an opportunity to scope out the magnificent bucks that may be sitting on your property during deer hunting season. But from time to time, trail cams will capture some incredible gems. They give us the perfect opportunity to see what goes on in the wilderness when the animals think there's nobody watching. This insane footage was caught on a Reconix trail cam, and it's awesome. In the video, you can see 2 gigantic black bears brawling it out beside a nearby tree. After going at it for a few seconds, the 2 massive animals start to stand off each other on their hind legs as they circle around the tree, and at this point, you know it's about to go down. They're both waiting for the other to make a move. One of these bears is going to walk away in very bad shape. Adult male bears usually fight in this fashion in an effort to communicate and assert their dominance. They use intimidation by posturing, like you can clearly see in this video. The one that wins is the dominant one and will have the right to the bigger territory, and therefore more access to female bears. Number 3. The beia horned beast, the strange humanoid photographed in Brazil. Back in July of 2007, a 15-year-old teenager from Michigan was visiting the gorgeous eastern region of Bahia in Brazil. During her trip, there were group tours organized, and she decided to go on one. She was incredibly excited and super happy about the activities ahead, but her joyfulness wouldn't last for long. While on the tour, the teenager was suddenly attacked by a very strange-looking, horned, humanoid black creature at a small watering hole nestled in a wooded area. The reasons why this mysterious monster attacked the girl are, to this day, unknown. The horrible creature reportedly grabbed her arm and attempted to put mud on her face and in her hair. The girl was terrified. She said she couldn't get free of the monster. It was just too strong for her. The only solution she could come up with was to throw herself at the demon-like creature, causing it to lose balance and loosen its grip on her. And it worked. After she broke free, she managed to snap this one picture of the demon. There were other witnesses of the altercation, the other people who were on the group tour, but if they managed to take a photo, they haven't come forward with it. Number 2. Huge wolf emerges from forest to attack a dog. This crazy footage was captured near a fishing lodge in northern Saskatchewan, Canada, where massive wild animals are quite common. Here you will, without a doubt, cross paths with the likes of bears, moose, and, of course, wolves. People tend to underestimate just how insanely big wolves really are. We're so used to coexisting with their little descendants, dogs, that we have a tendency to forget just how ferocious and powerful the original ones actually are. But just to refresh your memory, here is a terrifying video of a massive black wolf emerging from a forest to attack one of its descendants. In the clip, you can see the dog barking hysterically at the massive animal, but soon a yelp can be clearly heard as it tries to fight back. This massive canine is probably a timber wolf, which are black and, as you can see, huge. It's believed that timber wolves acquired their dark color from wolf-dog hybridization that took place thousands of years ago. In other words, it's when a wolf and dog procreate and thus create a new species. Cool, huh? Apparently, the wolf threw the dog up in the air right in front of its owner, and that's when the lodge manager shot his shotgun in the air to break up the fight, and the wolf left the group alone. Now it's time for today's topic. This image takes us to Russia a few decades back. Two friends decided to go hunting, and they were roaming the Russian taiga when suddenly they saw in the snow an animal they had never seen before. It looked like a normal animal until someone got close to it, and when they realized what the creature was, it was too late. They were brutally attacked by the massive Sasquatch-looking creature. Unfortunately, one of them was killed by the horrific horned monster, while the other one suffered severe injuries. However, he managed to get on his dog sled and escape the horrific attack. The dogs ran to the nearest town, but when help got to the man, he was already in a coma. When he woke up from his condition a little over a year after the incident, the first thing he did was to paint a picture. He says that this image is the last thing he saw before falling unconscious on the dog sled. Number 1. Strange bird found in Mexico. In a small colony in the northern region of Monterrey, Mexico, a group of locals captured a very strange-looking bird. Neighbors were convinced that this creature was, in fact, a witch. They claimed the creature was jet black, with long wings and a big beak. And most scary of all, it had very shiny and big eyes. When animal services got to the village, they immediately realized that the animal was nothing more than a very rare species of bird that's not very well known by the locals. The bird does have a strange appearance, but that's just what this species looks like. However, the reason why everyone jumped to conclusions about a witch in Monterrey is apparently because of a very old legend. There have been many sightings of witches in the area. Apparently, one was sighted on May 17, 2006, by members of a UFO chaser club. The group filmed the flight of a humanoid figure dressed completely in black, with a kind of hood that covered its head. The witnesses were at the top of Cerro de las Mitras, located in the town of Monterrey. And 2 years prior, on January 16, 2004, a police officer from the municipality of Guadalupe, in the state of Nuevo León, allegedly had contact with what he described as a witch. This event was widely reported in the local and national media. There are countless mysterious and terrifying things happening all around the world. What about you? Have you ever encountered a strange creature yourself? We'd love to hear your story. Also, don't forget to check out our other cool videos popping up on the screen right now. See you next time.